comment, and we'll be looking at all of those issues on the show this afternoon. Now, the Kaduna State government has reinstated another 24-hour curfew on Kaduna metropolis and its environs, Kasunwan, Magani, Kajuru, Kateri, and Kachia. The curfew is effective from 11 a.m. Friday, 26 October, and it will remain in force until further notice. Samuel Aruwan, Senior Special Assistant to Governor Nasir El-Rufai, made the announcement in a statement sent to newsmen. He said, quote, "This is a necessary step to help maintain peace as we mourn the death of His Royal Highness Agom Adara, who we lost in the early hours of Friday to the criminals who abducted him last week. The Kaduna State government calls for calm in all our communities. The criminal element who perpetrated this crime should not be allowed to divide us. This is a struggle between good, decent, law-abiding people trying to uphold the peace and criminals who want to divide and destroy. It is not a struggle between religious or ethnic groups. Let no criminal find succor in faith or tribe." He went on to say many other things. We'll be looking at all of that. Plus, Senator La at the National Assembly is blaming someone for the killings. Let's take that soundbite. We'll come back and talk some more.
Other vices have continued to happen uncontrolled and unabated. Mr. President, this shows, and this goes to show, that the curfew might have in its own precinct been able to control situation that may be unwarranted, but at the same time has provided openings, windows for hoodlums around town to go about killing people unnecessarily.
All the happenings in Kaduna State is caused by the governor of Kaduna State. Because she's not putting all the necessary things in place. The responsibility, he leaves them all. And of course, anything that happens, he knows it and he pretends not to know. That's not supposed to be. Why should other people be suffering and other ones be pretending not to? It is not the most that I must vote for somebody. I can vote somebody because I want that person. And if that person is not voted into power, should it be a reason for hating that person? So he's telling us that because Sarah Kaduna did not vote and he's trying to take revenge on them, that's supposed not to be.
Can the National Assembly close to show the seriousness of the situation so that the government will know that they have a duty to address this unfortunate issue? The killing has become so much. Life has no meaning again. Hearing of killing doesn't make any sense again. Every day it is a daily occurrence. I suggest that this unusual situation requires an unusual approach. And the approach I'm suggesting, Mr. President, is that if government has failed to do anything, and the police has failed to do anything, we should not be seen to not be doing anything. We should close and send a signal to the country, to the president and all the agencies.
Sula Hunkui is a living witness when me and him escaped death by the whiskers some 30 years ago in one of the very first incidences in Kaduna when me and him drove from Angorimi to his house then in Badiko. And we all know what happens. Mr. President, from that time to today, nobody has been brought to book as far as Kaduna crisis is concerned. Anytime there is problem, and here I don't mean there is one side that is just guilty. All the sides are guilty, but we all know what happened. The last time an issue came on this floor, I spoke about Zangon Kataf. And we knew what happened in Zangon Kataf, and we knew the processes that we went through, and we knew what happened eventually.
Kaswa Magani and many other communities in Kaduna State has in the last 20 to 25 years been faced with this kind of violence. The mindless killings is utterly condemnable. We must rise as Nigerians to fight those who are attempting to bring down the roof of our country, capitalizing on issues and problems that are of no consequences. The motion puts the spotlight, the need for us to embrace peace and tolerance.
The committees on defense, police, security agencies too, should be able to prepare and give us their own observations and their views, and then we can all contribute. If we all agree, we will pick a date where we will have this. I would suggest it is better probably in a closed session we have that and discuss it frankly and get the chairman to guide us to the observation and see whether we can come up with certain resolutions. Otherwise, we will keep on coming back here again and again in different parts of the country until we find out why weapons that are seized find themselves back in, why people who commit these efforts, nobody is being sanctioned, and et cetera, et cetera.
Welcome back. It's still Galaxy today. The Kaduna State government declared a 24-hour curfew to stem the tide of violence that engulfed the city on Sunday last week. The violence in the city center, which according to the state governor, Nasir El-Rufai, claimed about 22 lives and led to the destruction of several properties, was a direct consequence of the violence in Kasongo Magani, a small settlement on the outskirts of Kaduna metropolis that is gradually gaining notoriety as the flashpoint town in the state. And we're also well aware that a traditional ruler was murdered, after being kidnapped just yesterday, and a curfew had to be reinstated. We have two gentlemen with us here who will be looking at the issues with us this afternoon. Let's make welcome Emeka Madunago, the publisher, chief editor, Metro Star Media Services. Good afternoon to you, Emeka.
Good afternoon.
We also have joining us this afternoon Sunday Odiba. She's a political affairs analyst. Many thanks for joining us on Galaxy today.
Yeah, thank you for the privilege.
All right, gentlemen, let us look at this unabated killings in Kaduna State. This is not the first time Kaduna State is in the news for killings. We've had repeated killings, some innocent lives have been lost and properties have been destroyed. A lot of people have different accounts to it. A lot of people have blamed different people, blamed called for different reasons, as I can mention different reasons for this particular crisis. But in your opinion, is this not one killing too much? How come we've not been able to learn any lessons out of all of this, and Nigerians are just being killed up north just like that? And at the end of it all, we'll get curfews will be relaxed, things will return to normalcy, but over time again, more killings will return. Let's talk about Kaduna State. What has actually gone all right in that state?
Well, I think Kaduna State, first of all, is a complex state. That is one state that has produced very strong political leaders in the country. It has produced a complex of elite who are in competition with one another within the state and outside the state. And each time there seems to be internal issue, the government itself has not handled the Kaduna crisis objectively. There are issues of biases, either on a religious basis or an ethnic basis. And at the end, the government will tell you the perpetrators will be dealt with. They will do this, they will do that. Curfews are being imposed. But the point is, who is the governor in office? When the violence is on the other side, the governors appears to be enjoying it. When there are attempts to say, okay, let's hit them back, then the government wakes up. That has been the scenario we have observed over the years. Okay, if you take the Zalu Qatar issue, you remember the General Leopard experience when the Southern Kaduna Christians were being killed. And at the time that the Southern Kaduna Christians were also armed to kill back, the military then, by the former head of state, Ibrahim Babangida, set up a panel that sentenced Leopold to death. And the generals, including General Bali and others, rose and they said, no, this cannot happen. It can't happen. And they were ready to revolt if that was what set the Leopold free. So that's an instance that we have not had government that objectively address this issue. And that is one aspect of looking at it. Now the locals are always there to be used, and they are the victims. So they are also helpless in their own existence. You know, because they cannot independently say, okay, let's just absorb this, or they don't have access to the financial funds to say, let's acquire weapons on their own. And it is these days the politicians who also make provisions for these things. I think it's something that is bigger than what they are telling us.
Okay. And Mega, what's your opinion concerning all of this?
First of all, I want to say it's unfortunate and really condemnable that we keep going over such sad orgies and experiences of violence, you know, with many lives being lost and properties being destroyed. Well, what it shows is that those in authority appear to be at a loss as to how to build coexistence, peaceful coexistence, how to build tolerance. Because given the volatile nature of Kaduna State, like my colleague said, and the history of bloodletting and religious and communal warfare in that state over the years. Now we're talking of over 20 years. The leader, the political, traditional and security authorities in that state ought to by now have solutions to these recurring problems. But the unfortunate thing is you find out that you've had panels of inquiry, they've released the reports, there have been white papers on this, you know, arising from the reports of these panels of inquiry, but little has been done by the way of implementing these reports and these white papers. And what do you have? The same thing keeps repeating itself.
Over and over again.
And it's unfortunate. And then it's also unfortunate that the governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, is one kind of fellow who does not have the temperament to encourage peaceful coexistence.
How so?
Of course, you've seen what he has done to his opponents, demolishing their houses. You've seen you've seen the way he has approached issues arising from the politics of the state. How he sacked so many chiefs, how he's gone about doing a number of things in a manner that bespeaks that shows he's someone with the temperament of an emperor and not a leader. And in trying to lead a people, you must be like Caesar's wife. You must be above board in your conduct, in your temperament. So that is how you can inspire. You can inspire the values you seek from people. If you want peaceful coexistence, the question that will be asked is, how do you treat your opponents? How do you treat critics? In looking at this issue directly, you find out that there have been different reasons, like you said. Different reasons have been advanced. Some people claim that it's because of the creation of new chiefdoms that this tension has resurged, and you see the killings coming up again. That's an allegation. Some people say it's communal warfare, inter-ethnic warfare. But whatever it is, the bottom line is that this is one conflict too many.
Okay.
And the authorities in that state must be impartial in handling this crisis and in bringing and in resolving whatever problems are behind this recurrent bloodletting.
All right, Emeka, I will come back to you. It's still Galaxy. Today we're looking at the Kaduna killings. So we'll take a quick break and return with more. Do join us again. Don't go anywhere. All right, welcome back. We just needed to take a breather here. We're looking at the Kaduna killings. Now, let me come to you now, Sunday Odibashi. The NLC has also made its own, reaction concerning this, and right now it's actually blaming the governor and Nasir El-Rufai that he has not done, enough, to calm nerves and to stem this particular, issues. Emeka says he has a bit of a temperament issue. Do you agree?
Of an emperor, yes.
Well, for me, it will be too elementary to just hang everything around there.
Okay.
Fine. Because the killings have been going on over the years, even before he's coming.
Okay.
But the unfortunate is that the frequency at which it is occurring under his administration, has become worrisome, that make people to raise suspicions and all sorts of allegations. So on his own part, because even when the earlier killing happened in southern Kaduna involving the herdsmen and destroying local communities, he played a role that was very suspicious. When at a point it was revealed that he had to give money to the herdsmen and all.
He admitted.
When the team he admitted and said, he gave them money for them to
stop the killing.
But the locals said no, they used the money to go and buy arms. Okay, so when you see a leader playing such a role, that come to the open, no matter the logic you apply to defend your action, so people will always have skepticism and cynicism about what you are doing. And I think that is what is also bringing him into this for now. Okay. Now the frequency, of these killings under his administration, is getting high. Even as the administration is running out of the first tenure, and that is why people are just, begin to say point accusing figures towards him. But again, it goes beyond him, because other politicians will also be behind it. Because during the period where you had the politicians, they are having a very free way, they are going well, they don't have much conflict among themselves. These killings, they don't usually occur. But when they begin to disagree and begin to attack themselves in the open and all that, some of them will just go behind and instigate and incite their killings, and people that begin to say the government has not done enough. So these are the issues. But again, even when they send security operatives, the police, the soldiers, the kind of rapid response that people should expect from such situation, they don't get it. In some instances, they arrive there on time. Sometimes they will tell you that they are still waiting for directive. So why are you waiting for directive when you're already at the scene of violence?
Okay.
So these are issues that that's what people like me will continue to say, that the government has not been neutral in handling these cases. Okay? Because if you look at what happened in, just for instance, with the search for the army major general that they killed, you see the rapid response of the army and the military and all that. You see the impetus with which they were taking actions and, to unravel the mystery of the death of the man. But when it comes to Nigerian citizens, they give all kinds of excuses. We've not got this, we've not done that, and that is actually raising suspicion about the role of the politicians and the role of the government in mediating, handling these violent uprisings, especially in the Kaduna zone.
All right, just before we leave this particular issue, let us just get maybe very quickly, gentlemen, both of you. So going forward, what do we do, Emeka?
Yeah. Like I said earlier, the leaders must lead by example. Okay. They have enough information at their disposal. Various reports of various panels of inquiry, investigations. If they can take time to go through these reports, and I believe they'll be able to distill valuable information that can lead them to solutions. Then secondly, they must divorce themselves from this crisis. I hold the governor responsible without any equivocation because he is the governor of the state. He's the chief security officer of the state. And this he is a member of the APC, the All Progressives Congress, and he is a chieftain of the All Progressives Congress, and he's close to the president. So if there is a problem, I expect that he should not be one governor who will be crying that the federal authorities have done little to help him. Just like what happened in the case of the governor of Zamfara State some months ago, where he said he had resigned as chief security officer of the state and was giving excuses. Now, the issue is this. It's not about playing to the gallery. It is about dealing with the issues, nipping every potential crisis in the bud before it develops into bloodletting. You don't wait until people start killing them. 22 lives lost. That is ridiculous. That is scandalous. They're talking about human beings, not goats or chickens. 22 lives lost in one day, and all you just do is impose curfew. You relax curfews, and people come again and start killing themselves. A traditional ruler kidnapped and killed, and life goes on, business goes on. We need to place more value on human life in this country. It's unfortunate the way we take human life. Human lives. So, without much care.
Not just human life. Human life are not in government. Human life in government are not treated the same way human life outside government are treated.
No, but whatever human life is human life, whether in government or outside government. And then again, I like to say the governor should check his temperament.
All right, well said.
He should check his temperament.
Okay, very quickly, I just want to get to your preferable solution so we can move on.
So they should get the people to sit. Then let them discuss these issues.
Okay.
Because that's only when they can get the remote causes of these conflicts. It's not just the white people and all that.
But that has been done again and again. The people have been brought together many times. If you go through, you talked about the Zangon Kataf crisis. Go over the years. When did Babangida leave power? Babangida left power, was it not in 1986? Right? And look at what has happened between then and now. Between then and now. Babangida left in 1993. Yes, he left in 93, I'm sorry. So between 1993 and now, you have 25 years. And there has not been no years gone by without some form of crisis or the other in Kaduna State. And you look at the whole Middle Belt, the theater of bloodletting. So beyond just bringing the people together, at the round table, implement the decisions
reached
implement the resolutions reached at those meetings.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, but the politicians are also manipulating those resolutions. So they should separate the people from their political disputes.
All right.
As well. They are also provide good governance for the people, so that when they look at what is before them, they will not change their mind when they have been called out for violence. Okay, they will be able to assess if we take this risk, we are going to encounter such loss. And when you know the magnitude of loss you encounter, you might be compelled to withdraw from violence. So let you give them good governance.
All right, well said. Let me just take some comment before we move on to our next topic. Some people have reacted. You need to know that the governor is a fanatic. He destroyed churches when he was the Abuja minister. Thank you. I'm Evangelist G.O. Omolayo from Abuja. Our leaders don't have any plan for their people. Look at a leader in Kaduna, has people killing themselves, and he traveled out. May God help us. Good day, sir. Nobody should deceive you. The Kaduna crisis is religious, not ethnic. When it happened, the approach to the issue is one-sided in terms of resolving it. Yao from Kaduna State. In view of the senseless killings in Kaduna, I think a state of emergency should be declared, since the governor has proven not to be able to handle it. Good afternoon, gentlemen. The only thing we should debate on now is the religious difference. And these people seem to be having the upper hand and a stronger backbone due to the support they have from the government. The governor of the state is not helping matters. All right, this one says okay, let me take this one. Curfew is not a permanent solution. The root cause should be identified and objectively tackled. Killers must be prosecuted to avoid reprisals. Victor Ajibola. All right, thank you, gentlemen, for that particular one. We'll move on now to the All Progressives Congress and the governor of Ogun State, Amosun, and that of Imo State. They are defiant, insisting on chosen successors. Omo Agege is also saying that an APC crisis, we will resist attempt to remove Oshomole. There's been discordant tunes as APC's post-primary crisis linger, lots of protest here and there. We'll take this particular soundbite from Kwara State, then we'll come back and talk more about the aftermath of the primaries from the All Progressives Congress. Do join us again.
Whosoever actually won the election should be allowed to carry the day. We have reasons to believe that the result being announced is not what actually is, because there are people on ground who were angry and they stormed out of the collation venue. These things can be confirmed. We have witnesses. So we don't have anything against the person of Abdurrahman Abdurazak. Is a worthy candidate. Is a worthy candidate from a very reputable family in Kwara State. However, white is white, no matter how you embellish it. Sin is sin, no matter how you panelpit it. What is wrong is always wrong, now and even 100 years ahead.
As things stand now, only the wills and wishes of Alhaji Lai Mohammed have become law when it comes to APC affairs in Kwara State. These are the same attributes being displayed by the current Senate President, Senator Dr. Abubakar Bukola Saraki, which made us to embark upon a sustained struggle to free Kwara citizens from his dictatorship and domination. As things stand now, it is being seen that we have simply exchanged dictators. The process thus far has only been made to favor one person over and above others who are made to believe that the competition will be open to all. We say it is not fair, it is not right, it is not normal, and in the interest of progress, it must not be allowed to continue.
Welcome back. It's still Galaxy today, and we are looking at what I call a perceived crisis. The All Progressives Congress, APC, was with lots of protests going on across various states in the country. Specifically, some of the issues that have been raised include imposition of candidates. Some people are insisting that their candidate must stay. Let me just read out some of the issues that were raised from the Vanguard newspaper. It says that nobody can win in Imo without my support. That's attributed to the governor of Imo State, Rochas Okorocha. Akinlade will read Ogun's next year budget as governor. Amosun is saying protests in Zamfara over INEX disqualification. Oshomole's associates move against plot to oust him. Now, Governor Ibikunle Amosun of Ogun State and Rochas Okorocha of Imo State dismissed the tag of bad losers put on them by the All Progressives Congress APC as they separately reiterated the determination to force their chosen successors on the state, irrespective of the inclinations of the party leadership. All right, they went on to say their assertions came as associates of the national chairman of the party, Comrade Adams Oshomole, revolving strategies to frustrate moves by his antagonists to force a meeting of the National Executive Committee of the party to force a no-confidence vote on Oshomole. Gentlemen, let us look at all of this. The primaries have been done, announcements have been made, party flag bearers have been announced. But how come there have been one protest too many across the country within the All Progressives Congress? How come the party is seemingly fighting within itself?
Well, the infighting shows that the results do not reflect expectations of party members. And we watched the primaries held. Some held, some were modified and repeated. Some persons won and under different circumstances. But again, I think the national chairman of the APC will actually be solely responsible for the conflict.
Also.
Yes, actually, that's one. I was impressed when he came on board with his reform. Reforms, party discipline, party supremacy, and others. But the implementation ran contrary to the principles he laid down. If you are to ensure party discipline, party supremacy, now when they are going about negotiation and bargaining for political patronage, you should not take side with any faction. That is one. And that's how to provide leadership. The very day you take side with a faction, you become a player. And you are no longer a leader. You lose your leadership. So you can no longer regulate the actions of other party members. And I think that is what is happening in APC today. Now, when in some states there were guidelines, first of all, he started with that decision of direct and indirect primaries. Okay? In some states, he approved direct. In some other states, indirect. Even in some states where they approved direct primaries, those who were close to the structure of power in the party also took the other way around and had their own. So they had parallel primaries in some of the states. Okay, so and that gave rise to emergence of different candidates. Now, the point now is that when you now have a situation like this, the conventional thing is for you to make appeal.
Okay.
Now, and that appeal ought to have gone to the national leadership. Will you not go to the national leadership that is involved, that is already aligned with a faction in the conflict? And that is why they're having all these difficulties. Now, in some instances, people have alleged opposition. Now, when you have a primary election that are conducted according to your own laid down rules, you ought to abide in it. Then you now wait for petitions. You don't sit back in the federal capital and you announce annulment, and you now dictate for another primary within your own value perceptions. Okay, that is the way you want it to give the desired result that you expect. Those candidates you anticipate until they emerge, then you might give approval to that primary. The others will resist you. So the conflicts are bound to rise. So until now, everything is in a difficult situation. Because if you say, okay, let me make appeal. Who will I make the appeal? Is it a national chairman that's already biased, that has been accused of imposition? Or is it the other party members and the national chairman is also accusing of indiscipline? Because his own argument is also, yes, some persons don't want to comply with discipline and order, so they don't want to go with the reforms and all. So in every reform, there will always be resistance. But the only secret for you to succeed is to be neutral. Just like the issue we're talking about. You have to be objective, provide leadership, so every member look unto you. Not some looking unto you and others not. So I think that is one aspect that they are dealing with in this conflict.
Make a comment.
Yeah, the crisis in APC is not unexpected because the APC is a gathering of strange bedfellows. People ran into APC when they couldn't get what they wanted in PDP. Some who did that have run back to PDP or moved to other parties, while some of those remaining are struggling to get a space. Now, you talked about the tag of bad losers being attached to Mosu and Okorocha. And I think it's not far from the truth, because both men came out clearly with a mission to impose their own candidates on all positions.
But sorry, let me just make a point. You see, there's a differentiation in those two instances. The circumstances are different. Now, in Imo State, for instance, the governor lost in the first primary. In Ogun State, the governor faction won. They annulled that one, and they now repeated their own, which they accepted and adopted. In Imo, the governor lost. They still annulled that one and repeated the one which the governor accepted. So the circumstances are different. So
but I'm talking about the overall the overall issue.
No, that one is the one that should different.
The key issue.
The Ogun man may not be a bad loser.
No, the Ogun man is the problem in Ogun State. APC is that Amosu wants to have his way all through 100%, and which some key members of the party, some chieftains of the party, like Chief Shagun Oshoba, are saying no to. He's accusing Oshoba of conniving with Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the APC National Chairman Adam Soshomole, to doctor the results of the primaries and to alter the list of the candidates. And now APC has even offered him an olive branch to say, okay, we will give you this, we'll give you we'll give you this. They've even I understand that they've even dropped the name of the former deputy governor, Adeshegun, and replaced it with Lekon Mustafa in order to pacify Amosu. But he's still bent on having his way. And the leadership of the party is saying that if we let you have your way, how are we going to treat other interests? That there are other interests in this state. The other interests in this state. In Imo State, you have Rochas, who wants his son-in-law to succeed him, even saying that his son-in-law will do this and will do that. You cannot impose your will on the people of a state. The people have a right to demonstrate their electoral franchise. And that's what members of the APC have done. If there are issues, yes, I think there's a window of opportunity between now and November 2 for substitution of candidates. But the fact of the matter is this: with the way both governors are going, they may end up weakening the structures of the APC in their states and giving the advantage to other parties.
Okay, what about the call for the chairman to step down as his capacity as chairman? That's Adam Soshomole. Is it a genuine call?
Well, is it genuine? Is it not genuine? I'm not in a position to say that. But what I can actually say is this, that Oshomole too has overreached himself in some instances. In his conduct, the way he has conducted himself has led to the exit of bigwigs of the party. And unfortunately, the president keyed into that and said that the party would not lose sleep over the exit of some bigwigs. And you cannot say that when you're approaching an election, because these people leaving the party have substantial following. And what you need to do is, if you have problems, if there are crises, if you have crisis in your fold, what you need to do is to rally members of the party, big and small, around. Now, Oshomole, okay, let's even take it to the issue, because the call for his removal, the calls for his removal are arising from the primaries, because some people lost out of the primaries. And let me tell you, see, in Nigeria today, I talked about El-Rufai having the temperament of an emperor. It's the same thing with governors all over the country. All the governors, they want to behave like emperors, not leaders. And so they want to have their way. But you see, the leader of the party, known to INEC, is the national chairman. He came out and said, okay, the leadership of the party has said, we will adopt direct primaries here, we'll adopt indirect primaries here. Good and fine. But because some governors have not been able to have their way, they've not had their way, they now want to sink the ship of the party. Oshomole has been national chairman for how many months? You are the same governors who dumped Oyegun, who initially supported Oyegun. You dumped Oyegun and supported Oshomole. Now that Oshomole has not done your bidding the way you want, even with the concessions he has made, you are calling for his removal. I think they need to put personal interest aside
Okay.
and work for the interest of the APC. I'm not a member of the APC, but I would like to say that it is very important that members of political parties behave like loyal party men.
Yeah.
You may not get all you want today, but there are already more elections will come ahead. There will always be other opportunities for you to get certain things. And even to add to it, concessions have been made, but they are adamant. Now, if that were allowed to happen, then it means the party has become rudderless. It means the party has lost direction. It means the party, it means the essence of voting in a leadership for the party
has been defeated
at the national level, at state level, at local government level has been defeated. So you can as well just make the governors chairmen of the parties in the states, and then
we'll talk more.
Put maybe the president as national chairman.
Okay, Sunday, you will react to that, but let me just take one or two comments. Until political office holders are placed on minimum wage in this country, political struggles and contests to have access to the Commonwealth will continue to witness rancor, disaffection, and imposition of candidates. Politics is a serious business in Nigeria. That's from Tunde Oyelami. Good afternoon, guys. According to you, APC has failed it already because they cannot even manage their internal crisis. Adam Soshomole cannot lead them to victory come 2019. Jacob from Gege, more comments on the Kaduna crisis. I foresee APC crisis, or I foresaw it. I've foreseen it, APC crisis, because the world. Okay, I don't understand your comment right now. Those governors that were defiant, very corrupt, and afraid of being probed, that's why they want to plant their own candidates, but they forget that it is only who that wears the cap that can fit. I don't really understand that parable. Francis from Akute here Akute is in Ogun State. I thought that was in Lagos. All right, okay, let me just take one or two from our former discussion. Thanks for the presentation on the Kaduna killings. This is pure religious crisis that's between Christians and Muslims. It started a while ago. Your message was truncated. Thanks for addressing the heartbreaking issue, not only in Kaduna, but occurring daily till date. Does it mean that the government cannot arrest the situation? Now all of them are busy with 2019 election while lives are wasting away daily. Do they have conscience at all? Are they humans? If nothing is done now, 2019 election may be in jeopardy as bloods of these people are crying for vengeance and God will react. It is food for thought. That's from Jonathan. All right. Let me get your reaction before we just take the last discussion for today. Talk about Adam Soshomole continuing his capacity as chairman.
Yes, you see, there's one thing America you need to understand. You see, there's political values.
Yes.
There are political values. Okay? Now, when you place one above the other, the player knows the choice to make. Now, you are blaming governors. They want a success.
I'm not blaming only governments. I said also the national chairman has his own part in the problem.
Concessions have been made.
Yes, concessions by the national leadership.
They altered the grand value that the politician wants.
Do Nigerian politicians play by values? Just a quick question.
There's something that is wrong. Let's talk about interest.
True. Interest, yes, not values.
Yeah, interest. That is what's most important to them.
Okay.
And be traded off.
Yeah, okay.
Give a most to the governor and take the Senate tickets. You will resolve the crisis.
Now you've hit the nail on the head.
Okay.
I was waiting for you to do
now, in Igbo, for instance, Rogers has given the government ticket to his son-in-law. He has taken a Senate ticket for himself. And he has also a relation, is also taking a ticket to the House of Representatives.
But is that democracy?
So that cannot be said to be
Is that democratic?
But the basic thing is
very quickly.
APC appears to lack natural leadership. beyond the national chairman.
Okay.
It's all happened when PDP had their national convention after the election of their NOS members.
Okay.
Then when there was crisis, Chief Modo had to intervene immediately. And it was resolved. In APC, who is intervening?
Who is intervening?
So
Even the president has pushed it to Oshomole that should go and resolve
the
it.
president has got the presidential ticket and he's satisfied. He's hope and drive. He doesn't appear to care about whatever happens to the party.
It's like he's not caring about it. He doesn't just want to interfere.
He needs to intervene. And
He is the leader of the party.
He's the leader of the party because that is what they pronounce to the world. Even in the states, they say the government is the leader of the party. Why is the nation imposing decisions of the government? Who is the leader of the party in the states?
No, but that is the leader of the party recognized by INEC.
All right, I have Abati from Agbado Okearo. What the man in blue is saying concerning Ogun State is wrong. What happened in Lagos is the same with what happened in Ogun State. The NWC has actually been tailored to deliver Dakpo Abiodun against the state wishes of AAA. We stand with SIA.
Well, that's the view.
Okay.
That's that person's view. But you see, like Sunday talked about, interests being traded here and there. And when I talked about concessions being made by national leadership, I'm not holding brief for national leadership. But if you look at what the governor's spokesman said yesterday, he accused national leadership of running a campaign of calumny against the governor. Which is clear. And national leadership has said, no, we have tried to meet you halfway. So why not also meet us halfway? So, like I said, like loyal party men, they need to close ranks. If they are really interested in getting the party to record victory in 2019, because already they have lost Zamfara without the elections holding. INEC said yesterday that his decision on Zamfara stands. That APC has no candidate in Zamfara state.
All right, gentlemen, we are almost out of time. My belief is that Imo and Ogun states are covering something they don't want people to know. Also, Comrade Adams Oshomole should look